Шановні журналісти, вітання. Ми продовжуємо робочий день. І зараз будемо говорити на тему «Український вибір Маріуполя. Відкриття виставки «Маріуполь. Місто, яке обороняється». Нашими спікерами будуть Сергій Грабскyi, голова Ради Всеукраїнського об'єднання Союз учасників миротворчих операцій, та Валентина Окhlopkova, активіст, організатор виставки «Маріуполь. Місто, яке обороняється». Шановні експерти, прошу до слова.
Чтобы я вдруг не задерживаться, чтобы...
Шановні друзі, доброго дня.
Good afternoon.
I'm happy to see you in this audience, and I would like to explain why we have named our exhibition this way. Why Mariupol? Why actually we have come here? The matter is that the phenomenon of Mariupol at present has not been researched properly, because, well, you understand, on the one hand, it's a region which is absolutely pro-Russian. The city which is next to the Russian border. And one might think that things would be different. And how did it come about that Mariupol has become the city of Ukrainian opposition? And we named our exhibition the Ukrainian choice of Mariupol. And our enemies have taken into account a lot of things: complex economic situation, also, disintegration of the military forces of Ukraine, unpreparedness of Ukrainians to carry out military actions, because the nation has not been waging war for more than 20 years. And actually, the whole region could have been yielded to them and could have, dropped as the ripe apple from the tree. But it happened to be very different, and this is the example Mariupol sets, and just bravery and of the protectors of the city, defenders of this city, who put so much efforts into it. You know that from the very beginning, starting from March, the system of military management was destroyed, the economy has been destroyed, and the system of state management has been destroyed. What did we see? And we saw the high concentration of people who were trying to destabilize the situation. Practically, the lack of willingness of the local authorities to resolve the situation, the lack of any military defense. You remember that complex time when the unit of the military forces of the interior was blocked, and they were sieged, and they were not affecting the situation, and then they retreated, and Mariupol was actually drowned in the abyss of terror. And almost after a month or 6 weeks, Mariupol quite unexpectedly comes back to Ukraine as a capital of the Azov region. And this phenomenon, this unique character of Mariupol is exactly about this. When somebody wants to compare the Mariupol with the defense of Stalingrad or 300 Spartans, but we have Mariupol as actually a phenomenon which exists at present. There are no analogs similar to these. When the community, the local community, who are not armed, a group of volunteers came together, and there is no terror to the city, and people organized themselves. There were no military forces who were able to properly defend the city. You know that anti-terrorist operation, was very difficult to carry out, but the city withstood, and the city for the first time really won the battle. And I would like to single out the period when the city came back to the Ukrainian authorities, and it was done on the basis of enthusiasm and self-sacrifice of the volunteers units. And we thought it was victory. It seemed to be a victory, but unfortunately the situation has become much more complicated. And you remember those awful days of the last decade of August 2014, when in Mariupol practically there were no military forces in Ukraine. And actually the National Brigade of Ukraine from the Maidan was dislocated to Mariupol. But what does that mean? 2,000 or 3,000 warriors, which has a population of 500,000 people, and 2,000 soldiers were not enough to curb the aggression. And we can see with a high level of probability the local government was ready to surrender. I cannot really accuse them, because any civil servant is responsible for people, and they fear about their own life and the life of the citizens for whom they are responsible. But we can say that the government demonstrated a mission, and it was criminal mission. And the phenomenon is about the following: people themselves. And please don't forget the fact that this is a very specific region. The people decided not to let the enemy enter their city and to protect their city. And this is a phenomenon of Ukrainian nature. We are saying that this is a Ukrainian choice of Mariupol. And Ukraine is not about the power of president or prime minister in Kiev, but this is a different situation. It's the situation where the local community, the proactive members of this community, really worked a miracle. They won. The well-weaponed, armed enemy, and they stopped them by their sacrifice, and they made the government do something. They were able to mobilize the local resources in an active, proactive form or in a passive form, and the government started to act after that. Something has started to be done, and the construction of the defense structures started, and also the concentration of the military forces also started. And the government understood that Mariupol is not going to surrender, so they started to move the military forces and the military munitions there, and they have created a block post, and it is impossible to overcome this obstacle for our enemy in a direct offense. Things which the enemy tried to do with this city, and I would like to invite you to look at our exhibition. The enemy wanted to institute terror and instigate fear among the people so that they will be suppressed. And this barbarian, brutal aggression which occurred within the last days of January 2015, when cynically they have shot unarmed people. Everybody knew that in that quarter there were no military objects, no military men. They simply, cynically raided it and shot them down, and they used the grads in the cities, and it is prohibited to be used because it's a very cruel weapon which is banned by the international norms, and people incurred losses. And there was a choice either to surrender or to withstand the aggression and to win. And this is exactly what people done. It was not the system of government which won, but this was the community which won, and the conscience of the people, one who chose their own road, the road of the free community, free people who are ready to take responsibility about themselves. And again, they started to build fortifications, and people started to help the wounded, those who suffered, and the community has mobilized. And at present, we have a unique phenomenon of the Azov fortress of Ukraine. Ukraine, not in the sense of Ukraine of Poroshenko, Yatsenyuk, Lashka, or whoever, but this is Ukraine of Ukrainian nation, Ukraine of Ukrainian communities, people who took up the responsibility, who are doing it and are going to do it. It is impossible to vanquish these people, and that's why Mariupol at present is a bright example of this. Well, take into account all the deficiencies which are present there, and there is an opposition of the old government, old nomenclature. But Mariupol, nevertheless, is a real example of the fact that Ukraine can unite, can mobilize its forces, and to make the right choice and embark on the road, correct road. And this will be the road of Ukrainian people and Ukrainian society. So this is the idea of this exhibition. We believe that this is a Ukrainian choice. Mariupol is a part of Ukraine, and it's an example to follow in our future development. It's an inseparable part of Ukraine, and this is the capital of Azov area. I don't consider it's part of Donbas because that region has quite a different specific features, and Mariupol is the capital of the Azov area of Ukraine, and it gives us hope, the hope for Ukraine to win, to withstand, and become the flourishing country. Thank you. Good morning, I'm Valentina, and I'm one of the co-organizers of this exhibition, and I'm really very happy that I have this honor to thank all the heroes and protectors, defenders of Mariupol, the volunteers, the military men who are defending their land. It's true that this exhibition has been born in the course of our trips to Mariupol, and I met the local patriots, and I really was impressed by those people more and more. We were taking pictures during these trips, and we had just a series of pictures which reflected the chronology of the events in this city, and we provided them for the exhibition. Today, I was talking to one of my friends who lives in the city of Mariupol, and I was so pleased to see the following words from him. He said, "Vala, thank you very much from all the residents of Mariupol, and I, on behalf of all the citizens of Ukraine, to say a big thank you to those brave people who really set an example of how it is necessary to demonstrate their civic duty, and to rely on ourselves. We should not tie our hopes with someone else, but we have to take responsibility into our own hands and to do everything possible to save Ukraine." Thank them very much for everything. Thank you very much. Thank you, Valentina. Any questions? Any comments? Journalists, would you like to ask questions? If not, thank you very much. And questions? Sergiy Grabskyi, Ukrainian Crisis Center.
I know, Valentina, you put a lot of efforts to creating this photo exhibition. Please tell what funds were supporting your work and what are your plans for the future. This exhibition was made by us, by regular citizens of Ukraine, with the assistance of our friends from the Association of Participants of Peacekeeping Operations, and it wouldn't happen unless the friends, the patriots of Ukraine, helped us, those who live in Canada, and I would like to sincerely thank them for that. That was unbelievable that many people who live on a different continent, they are really taking care of Ukraine more than, and they are concerned with what's happening in Ukraine more than the citizens of Ukraine. The plans for the future, when we installed the exhibition, at first was open in the Museum Kyiv Fortress. And when now we installed it here, it looks differently here. It's wonderful in this hall. When I look at it, I understand that it should continue its existence because that is a strong instrument. It's quite a powerful message which shows heroic fighting of the citizens of this city. I hope that this exhibition will continue living, and maybe some state institutions will pay attention to it, and it will travel to other places of Ukraine. Maybe it will even go to other countries, like Baltic countries. which are also interested and which are supporting Ukraine in information war. Thank you. Any other questions? UCMC, could you please tell us, if possible, about what are parts of the exhibition, what are topics of the life, what period of life of the city it covers? And then when we move to the exhibition, you will talk about that in more detail. So the exhibition, they will be showing the events taking place in Mariupol when they were trying to make Mariupol part of the DNR, and then also the beauty of patriotic movement of Ukraine, and then we see the consequences of the tragedy of shellings of the Eastern Quarter and the hope. The exhibition finishes that where children wish peace to Mariupol, to Ukraine. I hope that we are worth it. Mariupol will always be a Ukrainian city, and we will learn how to support our own patriots. I would like, and how to honor them. I would like to add, Vale is a very modest person, and I would like to draw attention that the photographs which are there were made by Valentina. She was at the place of events. And I can tell you how courageous she is. When I asked her, Vala, don't go there, she said, I will be there, have to see it, people should know about that. That is what she is. Any other questions? Once not, thank you for bringing this exhibition here. Mariupol, the exhibition on Mariupol is being inaugurated here in UCMC in our art lounge, and it will be open till the 12th of July. We invite all those who want to see it to the exhibition. So the schedule will be